Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack, and tonight we are reviewing WWE Backlash. It was an alright night. Didn't set the world alight. I want to say it was fairly predictable. There wasn't any shock results, if you will. There was one iffy result, which I'll go through in a bit. One, what I felt was a rushed finish due to an possible injury. But we'll get through to that. Like I said, it wasn't a spectacular show. It was an average show. Just over 3 hours long, not including the pre-show. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think it was about 3.5 hours. So, that's alright. It's not too bad. Going through the pre-show, we had Bayley, Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott won that. Pretty simple, really. Pretty simple win. Okay, match was a pre-show match. But what kicked off the show was by far match of the night by an absolute mile. IC title, The Miz versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins retained, and my God, the amount of false finishes in this match was insane. The Miz hit 2 skull-crushing finales. Seth kicked out of both at 2 3/4. It was incredible. Seth finally won it with a curb stomp, and yeah, it was just an absolutely fantastic match. Great way to kick off the show. I wouldn't have minded if this was the main event, to be fair. It certainly, judging by the rest of the matches, it was definitely the main event material. But it just kicked off the show, which I don't mind. Seth seems to be the guy to kick off a show now, which is alright. I still think he's on the cusp of becoming back a main eventer, I reckon, because he's just been an absolute fire since before WrestleMania. He's just been on it, and every match he's been in has been 4-star plus, I would say. So yeah, Seth retained, and The Miz looked great. Seth looked great, and it was a great match. Next up, we had Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. It was an okay match. Nia won, so she retained. It was just these two are obviously two good wrestlers, but the problem is, I think the size difference. They can't really pull off a really good match because of the size difference. Obviously, Nia's a big girl and she's taller. She's, 6 foot tall, I want to say. I'm not too sure. But Alexa being this 5 foot, really small female, it just doesn't... The mismatch is too big, I reckon. It was an alright match. Nia retained. Next up, we had Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. I didn't really watch much of this. I was eating my food at the time. Jeff retained. Below average match, I'll say. Below average. We then had what could possibly be described as a filler, which made you think you were high on drugs. We had Elias come out for his concert. He was then cut off by the New Day. He wanted to join a band, I think, of some sort. They came out with Biggie had a massive drum. Xavier Wood had his trumpets. Kofi had his, what they call the big cymbal things. Elias went to start his concert again. And who came out next? Rusev Day. Rusev and Aiden English came out, did their little bit. And Elias was getting really annoyed. He tried to start his concert again. No Way Jose came out. Not only was it No Way Jose, but in his little posse, you know, I don't know what they call him, rosebuds. He had Titus Worldwide and Breezango and someone else. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure there was someone else. Definitely Titus Worldwide and Breezango in his little conga line. At this point, Elias was completely at his tether. He tried it one more time, and Bobby Roode's music hit. He came up behind Elias, hit him with the glorious DDT, and then they played No Way Jose's music, and everyone was dancing except for Rusev and Aiden English. And then as they walked up the ramp, Aiden English went to join the back of the conga, and Rusev just dragged him back like, what you doing? What you doing? I honestly thought I was high on something. I was like, what's going on? What on earth is this about? I thought it was hilarious. It was a decent filler. It gave everyone a bit of a payday for appearing on the show. My God, what the hell? What the hell was going on? Next up, we had the Daniel Bryan Big Cass match, and this match was what it was meant to be. Daniel Bryan won via submission, but Big Cass looked strong, and after Daniel Bryan's win, he attacked Daniel Bryan to reaffirm that strongness, I guess. And yeah, it was just what the match was made for, to have Daniel Bryan go over, but to make sure Big Cass looked strong as possible. So perfect in my eyes. It was an alright match, pretty short, but did the job. Next up, we had the SmackDown Live Women's title, Charlotte versus champion Carmella. Carmella won, but what happened was Charlotte jumped off the top rope. Carmella ran under her, and as Charlotte landed, her knee buckled, and that was the finish. I think Carmella kicked the back of the knee and then rolled her up and won. Now, I'm pretty sure this was a legit knee injury, because that seemed like a rush finish. You could see Carmella was talking to Charlotte, drawing the pin, and I reckon Charlotte said, "I'm not going to kick out, my knee is gone." So that's my opinion. We might find out on Tuesday night what actually happened there. It didn't feel like a proper finish to a title match, but Carmella retained, and yeah, I hope Charlotte's alright. I hope it's a work. But it looks like she was actually injured, and that was a rush finish. Next up, we had the iffy result. We had the WWE title, which wasn't main event, and it wasn't the penultimate match either. It was just there in like the upper mid of the cards. Weird. It ended in a no contest again, so AJ retained. This was the best match of their three in WWE. There was false finishes, there was low blows, both of them hit low blows on each other. The ending of the match was they both kicked each other in the bollocks at the same time, and they couldn't answer the ref's 10 count to get back up. So, is that the end of the feud? I hope so. I wouldn't mind seeing it again at possibly SummerSlam. It's a few months away. I wouldn't mind seeing it again at SummerSlam, as long as Shinsuke wins the title. But I don't know how they've messed this feud up, but they have somehow. And two non-contests in a row. If they do it again, I won't be excited for it. I'm not gonna lie, I won't be excited for it. But like I said, it was a really good match, and it was the best of their three. Shinsuke went for a Kinshasa. AJ chucks a chair in, because it was a no DQ match, and he chucked the chair, hit Shinsuke knee, and bounced back and hit AJ right in the cheek, and his cheek was proper busted open. He got karma'd a bit there. But yeah, like I said, no contest. AJ retains. Get someone else in that main event picture now. Probably Samoa Joe, who said he was going to come after AJ Nakamura. Which, AJ Joe, we've seen it before in Impact, and have we seen it in Ring of Honor? We might have done, I'm not too sure. That'll be good. That's a feud to get excited about. Next up, we had the filler between the two big matches. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman won after a bit of dissension in the ranks between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where Sami tried to run away. Kevin Owens stopped and was like, "No, we're fighting." And Sami was like, fine. He then chucked Kevin Owens back in the ring. Kevin Owens got hit by something, I can't remember. Rolled back up the ring. KO then chucked Sami back in the ring. They had a little argument. Sami slapped Kevin Owens. And then somehow Kevin went back into the ring. I can't remember how for the life of me. I should have written it down, but I can't remember how. And Kevin got destroyed. Kevin took the pin from Bobby Lashley after Lashley picked him up. Didn't drop him this time like he did Big Cass, Bobby Lashley. But Sammy was the legal man at the time, so I don't know what was going on. It was really weird. So yeah, Braun and Lashley won. And KO and Sammy haven't won in bloody ages. The main event, Roman versus Samoa Joe. The crowd annoyed me in this match. The crowd annoyed me so much. Until the end. Roman Reigns won. But before that, before the bell even rang, they had a brawl. Samoa Joe attacked him. He, what's the move? Iranagi'd him through an announce table. Chucked him over another announce table. And then most of the match was Joe working the head and the neck of Roman. And the crowd are booing the crap out of it. But then when Roman was fighting back, they booed that as well. And it was just like, make your minds up. Like, Samoa Joe's obviously gonna work the head and the neck, because that's what his finisher is. The, what's it called? Coquina clutch. It's a sleeper hold. That's what he works on. He's gonna do that. So don't boo it. It was a very slow match, granted, but just it's a different type of wrestling. Like, don't boo. They was chanting this is boring. Just stupid crowd. It then fought back. There was a nice tidy finish where, I say finish, it wasn't the finish. Roman went for his drive-by when Joe was slumped over the bottom rope. Joe caught him into the, I keep on forgetting the name, Coquina clutch. Roman looked like he faded. It looked like the ref was hesitant. He then sprung back into life, grabbed the ropes. And then the finish happened where Joe put Roman on the top rope and went for the muscle buster, which we obviously haven't seen that move since Joe unfortunately ended Tyson Kidd's career with it. Completely not Joe's fault. It just happened, and Tyson was lucky to walk. I'm sure you all know about that. And that move's been put on the shelf ever since then. It was, I'm pretty sure it's the only person. I say only. I'm not too sure. But the only high-profile person that has been injured from that move. It just so happens to be a big injury. But he tried to go for that, and everyone was, the crowd, you could see the crowd like, oh crap. It was a bit like when the curb song came back. It was like, oh crap, look at this is mad. Roman kicked out of that. I say kicked out, he was still sat on the top rope. Joe walked back, ran at Roman, who was at the top rope. Roman jumped off the top rope, turned around, speared Joe. 1, 2, 3. Roman picked up the win, and the crowd cheered. The crowd cheered Roman Reigns. I couldn't believe it. It was mad. But yeah, that was Backlash. Like I said, it wasn't. Parts of it was exciting, especially that first match between Seth and Miz. But it was average at best. It's a B show, B pay-per-view, essentially. So next up is Money in the Bank, so that should be more exciting with both women and men's Money in the Bank. But yeah, I'm just glad we're now out the way of having the greatest Royal Rumble and Backlash so close together. We can actually build storylines now, and we can actually get some good matches and some good feuds on the go. So yeah, prediction-wise, you'll have to find out, unless you've been following the Twitter, you have to find out who won the predictions. But you won't have to look far to see who won the predictions. Anyway, if you like that, please subscribe. If you got any questions for next week's podcast, this week's podcast is up on iTunes. If you want to check out, link will be down in the comments. And yeah, it was the funniest one we've done, this podcast. It was great. Very much enjoyed making it. And yeah. If you got any questions for next week, leave them down below. Leave it after Raw and SmackDown, maybe. But if you got anything about this pay-per-view, leave it down below. And I shall see you again tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw, where hopefully we can get some more feuds on the go, and it'll be less messy than it has been. I shall leave you there. Thank you, and goodbye. and have a good rest of the evening, morning, day, wherever you are. Thank you and goodbye.